Hello my dear Gemini, thank you very much for tuning in for your December reading with me. I have had a lot of power cuts over the last 2 weeks, which has made it incredibly difficult to keep on top of the readings and the YouTube and things, but everything seems to be settled now. I say seems to be because we're in the middle of a big gale, so we're just trying to make sure that everything is tickety-boo and that we're not going to get hit by more power cuts. But it seems to be going okay. But instead of taking the time to, well, taking a lot of time saving videos, narrating, putting a lot of things on the like credits and things, I just thought I'd do it live for you. Saves a lot of time, and I think it also gives me a chance to connect a bit more freely with the cards as well. So I have meditated about this for you, just to get a few messages down already. As usual, we have the oracle card for the underlying message for December, but as I was shuffling, all your cards, every single one of them, flew out at me. Like normally I just shuffle them until time to stop and then I draw them. They all demanded to be thrown out at different intervals as well. And the last two, they were very, very strong in coming out as a pair. So, and they were actually the ones that took the longest to come through. So I think that there's a very strong message there. I'll see what my guides in the universe and the cards have to say. But let me just have a look and see what comes up for you. As always, this is a general reading for Gemini. If you'd like a personal reading with me, just go to the website, all the information is on there. This reading, I've got a few questions about this actually. General readings are for sun, moon and rising signs. So you are all three aspects of that very strong personality right then and there. So if you do have your sun, your moon or ascendant, any other sign, just if you want to, watch those if this doesn't resonate with you. Okay. Okay, so you've worked really hard. It seems to be a payoff coming through, almost like in a payoff in energy as well, not necessarily something that's coming through in regards to money, but I know that would help. For the first week, we have the Three of Pentacles, which is all about trying to get people to notice your efforts. It's almost like the apprenticeship. So you're working hard, you're doing your craft, you're trying to make a name for yourself. You're trying to build up a sort of reputation, and this is not just in work. I have to clarify. This is to do with every single step of your life. So if you have tried your best to get into a job, or if you've tried your best to improve your family's view of you, because we are in a family month, it's the kind of December is the main month for family, according to the media and all the shopping outlets. But I feel like you are going to be judged, or you're going to be appreciated for something that you do for somebody else. This could be an act of charity. This could be something that you do to treat somebody when you feel like you haven't got much to give. You just make something for them because it shows it's from the heart. But I think for most of you, this is something personal that you've slaved away at for quite some time, and suddenly somebody actually recognises those efforts. And they're like, oh, I like what I see. Is there more? Are we able to get something else from you? Are we able to, for instance, if you craft something, can we see something more of you? Can we see more paintings that you do? And that kind of feeling will actually run through the rest of December. But for this first week, it seems to be coming through. First week for me is now going to be for the 7th, because this is before the 7th that I'm uploading the video. So that's a very good card to have. That's the only thing that I get from that, though. There's no underlying, oh, it really means this. No, there's nothing there apart from hard work and a lot now. Because you see, he's kind of checking behind him to see if anyone's actually paying attention. He's got his little eye going, alright, see these two checking me out. What am I doing? And this is really strong vibes for getting something accomplished, but getting people interested in what you're doing. But don't let it make you go inside yourself. So I think with the Hermit, it is all about going on your own path, but don't shy away from your light. Don't hide your light under a bushel. The main thing for you is to get things done And sometimes, yes, you may have to go within yourself. Trying to think of an example. You may have to go within yourself just to reorganize your mind, because you're very analytical, you're very calculating. That's a good thing about Gemini. I have a Gemini moon. So sometimes you're able to switch off and just go, right, and go within, check your center, check your way you're doing things, because you've got this star that's prepared to burst. You really have got what it takes. You've got this amazing ability here. But sometimes laziness and, oh, I don't know what will happen if I let out the star. It might fly away from me and I won't be able to find it again. Don't worry about that. For those of you who are worried, don't, because it's almost like, just let it free, let it do it. Don't worry about the consequences. Damn the consequences. Don't think about it too much. Just do it. If you've got a spare minute in the second week of December, or any week in December, just go for it. Organise yourself. If you have 7 different projects that you need to do or feel like you need to get accomplished, do it. You don't have to be worried about the consequences of it. What is it? To try and fail is one thing, but to not try is to fail completely, or something like that. If you don't try, you're never going to know. Yeah, it may not work out how your worst fears are. It may work out incredibly much better. Just don't go within yourself. This also sees like there's a wisdom with you. There is a wisdom in there. You just have to kind of tap into it. Solace doesn't necessarily mean being cut off from everybody else emotionally, because I think sometimes you have a habit of doing that. Do not deny yourself emotion. Do not be on your high horse either. That's just come through. Don't be on your high horse. If somebody has wronged you, don't be on your high horse about it. Just kind of let it go, because that's not worth your time obsessing over. Your star is worth obsessing over, and making sure that you just release that as much as possible. As a result, I do believe that in the 3rd week of December with the Knight of Wands, you get quite a strong feeling of accomplishment. Looking at him, he seems quite happy chappy, and I get the sense as well that if it's not an actual person that comes through, it will be somebody, something that happens around you that makes you feel like you want to charge into action. I believe that the energy around Christmas time, even if you don't celebrate it, can be infectious for the right and wrong reasons. It could be very stressful going out shopping because of all the crowds. It could be very stressful if you do celebrate Christmas, for getting all the presents for everybody, all the presents for all the people. I don't have enough money. Don't worry about it. If you can make something homemade, do it. If you can share love with them, do it. If you can show your appreciation in many other ways, just do that. But for the most part, I feel like there's a very strong message of just charge forwards with whatever you have in mind in regards to your own personal evolution, and make sure that you progress. That just keeps repeated for me. You're going to be you're going to be a trailblazer. Be a trailblazer. Just go forward, whatever you feel is right. Make sure that you understand the workings of nature and the earth, and you're respectful of that. You're respectful of the animals, the universe, everything. Just make sure whatever you do it with respect for yourself, other people, and the world around you. But don't be afraid to charge forwards when you get the energy. It may be because of all the fairy lights around. I always get energized by a dark room, just lit up with a few fairy lights, and that really calls to my subconscious. Maybe it'll be something to do with you as well, something for you. But there's a very strong element of feeling in your element. So that's good. That's really, really strong for you. Now these two wanted to come out together. It's the Queen of Wands and the High Priestess. Okay, I'm getting, I don't know why. Ooh, silly spotlight. Always drops off. I'm getting a little bit of avocados there, I don't know why. Okay, for some of you this is a friend who's very spiritual. This is maybe a fire sign lady who's very spiritual, or who has really good strong intuition. It could be a psychic that you decide to go and see. It could be somebody who just comes up and seems to know a lot about you, or it could be somebody that you make a really strong partnership and connection with. Either way, this is of two really strong cards. I think also for a lot of you who are not going to encounter somebody, it could be the inner fire that you start off with the Knight of Wands. It comes in and it's really strong, and it's building up so you can refine it. You see, she's very refined, that Queen of Wands, and then she kind of turns into the High Priestess, or is secretly the High Priestess, or is encouraged and in involvement with the High Priestess. So I feel for the most part here there's an opportunity that is not to be missed. This is a connection I get that, something very strong. The new moon, I don't know when it is in January, but the full moon is in the 25th of December, Christmas Day. So 2 weeks later, this could actually go into the new year, because it seems for me like the new moon there could be something that you create within this last week that actually sends you forward towards that intuition. For those female Geminis out there, this could be you just getting a very strong sense of who you are as a woman, and reading other women with intense accuracy. But I think you don't have to cut yourself off from them. For a lot of you, I think it's a fire sign friend who's a bit scatty, but comes, maybe also very spiritual, but comes and gets in touch with you and goes, "Hi, how are you? I hope you're good. Okay, right, see you later, bye," and then just runs off. Yeah, so I get the feeling that there's going to be a very strong sense of understanding more about the universe and what happens, more about how other people tick, how you tick as well, because that's very important, understanding yourself. So yeah, it's a very strong message there. And then we have divine order. So this is Archangel Raguel. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlying order. I can't remember if somebody else had this month. It may have been in a weekly reading, but this for me seems to be like, oh look, we've got the scales here. So that I think relates to a Libra person as well. But it's taken this long for a reason. That's what they just said. It's taken this long to come to some results for a reason, because this is divine timing. They've been setting the stage. They've been organising things for you. Now is the time to step up to the plate and take your role very seriously. Again, it's almost like, don't be afraid with the star here. Don't be afraid. Just don't worry about it. Don't be afraid to let it go. Don't be afraid. This little light of mine, you needed to let it shine. That kind of thing. It's funny how hymns and things you sing as a child really stick with you. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Just try and get that done. Don't hold back on the truth. Don't hold back on your sense of self, your honour, your integrity. Again, everything is how it needs to be. It's funny, you Geminis, I don't see the outer world affecting you as deeply as it affects a lot more sensitive people. And I'm not saying that you're cut off from the outer world and all the events that have happened, but I just see this kind of, you're able to handle it. Now, unless you are, I was going to say afflicted, but that's wrong. Unless you have like a more sensitive dominant sign in your chart, for instance, sensitives can be Cancer, Pisces, Virgo, Libra, even to a degree. The people who are very sensitive about that, I think that you could experience something, with regards to that. But for the most part, I don't see it. I don't see the fact that you are very drawn down or dragged down with whatever's happening, which can be a good thing, because it means that you are enlightened enough within yourself to just focus and get your head down and stop doing it and just carry on, because that's a really positive attitude to take, and I think a lot more people need to do that rather than try and be superheroes. They need to be more active in the self. So you're not forgetting about yourself. I think this card just says realize, respect the outer world and what's happening at the same time. So just it's a good reading for you, Gemini. I like it. Yeah, it's a good feel about it. So I think you're going to get your just rewards. You're going to keep working at whatever you want to work at, whatever impressions you want to make, whatever spiritual guidance you want to improve, and connections that you need to assist and engage with. So this is a really strong message for you. I get a good thing for this. If you'd like me to take a look more personally for you, the readings are available on my website, and just as soon as it's purchased, the message comes to me, so I'll be able to get in touch with you. Thank you for following me on Twitter and liking my Facebook page and everything else that is associated with my tarot readings. Just thank you for supporting me. It's coming up to a year of doing this, and I wouldn't be able to have done it without the support and subscriptions and everything from you. It's been a joy to interact with many of you, and I just hope that if you like this video format, let me know. I'm happy to keep doing it this way because it seems to be a lot easier for me, but if you prefer it the old way, I'm happy to do that too. So I hope this message resonates with a lot of you, and I look forward to talking about January, my word, January 2016. The general 2016 overview readings are going to be coming up in the next few weeks, but if you'd like a personal reading for 2016, those are available on the front page of my website now. Thank you ever so much for listening. Take care, my dear heart Geminis, and I look forward to reading for you again soon.